You ever have one of those mornings where you walk into the shop, the smell of cedar hits you, and you realize you've spent 3 decades doing this and you still don't know where you put your favorite marking knife?
Only every single time we record this, Tiger. I'm convinced there's a spatial rift behind your drill press that specifically swallows small hand tools and single socks.
It's a tax. The shop gods demand a sacrifice of one specialized tool per project. But welcome in, everyone. It's Sunday, August 2nd, 2026. We're deep in the swelter of summer, and the TigerDen is humming. We've got a lot to chew on today, from the tech that's making our knuckles less bloody to the career paths that are actually putting steak on the table these days.
And we're looking at what people are actually buying. Because let's face it, Tiger, your artistic vision doesn't always pay the electricity bill for that industrial dust collector of yours.
Hey, that artistic vision is currently a very functional, very heavy mahogany coat rack that no one in my house uses. But point taken. We're talking maker mogul trends, some heavy duty trade talk, and a guitar made out of construction lumber.
Let's start with the shiny stuff. The tool manufacturers have been busy this summer. I saw you staring at that new Milwaukee ratchet like it was a long-lost relative.
Look, I'm a simple man, but when I saw the M12 fuel extended reach ratchet, I felt a genuine sense of relief. If you've ever tried to get a standard wrench into the gut of a modern engine bay or tucked behind a plumbing stack, you know the feeling of leaving half the skin of your forearm on a sharp bracket. This thing has a neck like a giraffe and the torque of a mule. It's about not having to take half the machine apart just to turn one bolt a quarter inch.
It's basically a robotic finger for people with giant hands. But what about the Ryobi framework? That seems more like your speed for the always rearranging hobbyist.
It's clever. Usually a workbench is a static monument to where you stood in 1998. The framework system is modular. You can shift the footprint as your projects grow. If you're doing small electronics one day and then suddenly you're welding a gate the next, you aren't fighting your own furniture. It's for the guy who has a 2-car garage but only 1 car's worth of space because of, well, the addiction.
We call it hobbyist enthusiasm, Tiger, not addiction. But then there's the Hilti Neuron 14-inch saw. That's not a garage tool, that's a I'm tearing up the sidewalk tool.
That Hilti is a beast. We're finally reaching that point where the cord is becoming a historical artifact. Cutting concrete or heavy steel without a gas engine screaming in your ear or a trip hazard yellow snake trailing behind you, that changes how a job site feels. It's quieter, it's cleaner, and your lungs aren't full of 2-stroke exhaust by noon.
It's impressive. But let's pivot from the tools to the people holding them. You've been looking into the HVAC world lately, specifically the commercial side. Why the sudden interest in industrial cooling?
Because everyone wants to be a creator, but nobody wants to be the person who makes sure the server farms and hospitals don't melt. If you're looking at the trades right now, and I mean really looking for a career that's recession-proof and high-ceiling, commercial HVAC is the heavyweight champion.
Why commercial, though? My uncle does residential air conditioning, and he's busy every time the sun comes out.
Residential is great for learning the ropes, but it's a grind. You're in crawl spaces with spiders who haven't paid rent in years. Commercial and industrial, HVAC, that's where the complexity lives. You're dealing with sophisticated control systems, massive chillers, and refrigeration units that keep a city's food supply frozen. In the Midwest, especially up in Minnesota, they are practically begging for people. They're offering training programs that are essentially a golden ticket.
So it's less about fixing a leak and more about being a systems engineer who happens to wear boots?
Exactly. Here's the secret. Master the controls. If you can speak the language of the digital brains that run these big systems, you aren't just a mechanic anymore. You're a specialist. And specialists get to set their own terms. It's about moving from the how to the why of the machine.
Speaking of setting terms, let's talk shop, literally, the maker mogul side of the house. You're always telling me that handmade isn't a business plan, it's just a description.
It's a trap, is what it is. You can't just make a pretty thing and hope the internet finds you. The 2026 data is leaning hard into what they're calling modern heritage. People are tired of that flat-packed, disposable furniture that feels like it's made of compressed dryer lint. They want raw, sustainably sourced wood. They want to see the grain.
And the colors are changing too. It's not all just white and gray anymore, thank goodness.
Right, think moss greens, terracotta, sky blues, colors that look like you actually stepped outside once in a while. But the big takeaway for anyone selling on Etsy or their own site, stop guessing. I see so many makers spend 40 hours on a piece because they like it. Then it sits in the corner collecting dust because nobody was searching for it. Use eRank, look at the keyword data, see what the world is asking for before you start your first cut.
Tiger, are you actually suggesting that artists should use math?
I'm suggesting they should use math so they can afford to keep being artists. There's a formula we use: labor plus materials plus overhead, then multiply it by 2 for wholesale. If the number that comes out makes you wince, you either need to be faster or your materials are too expensive. It's not magic, it's just staying in business.
Let's get into the weekend warrior stuff. You saw that white oak bar table project? That seems like something even I could handle without losing a digit.
White oak is the darling of the wood world right now. It's sturdy, it's got that beautiful tight grain, and if you keep the lines minimalist, it's a one-day build. It's a quick win. I think we all need those. Sometimes you need a project that doesn't take 6 months and a midlife crisis to finish.
And then there's the guitar, the 2x4 guitar. When I first heard that, I thought it was going to sound like, well, a fence post.
I thought the same thing. Our friends over at the Maker channel really put us to shame with this one. It's a lap steel guitar made from a standard construction grade 2x4. A few bucks in electronics, some strings, and a bit of hardware. It sounds hauntingly good. It's a slap in the face to the idea that you need a $500 slab of AAA grade koa wood to make music. It's about the soul you put into the build, not the price tag on the lumber.
It's a good reminder that the stuff isn't the point. It's the doing.
True, though sometimes the doing gets a little out of hand. Did you see that guy trying to renovate his basement to look like the Seahawks stadium?
With the turf and the stadium lighting, I think he might have crossed the line from DIY to please call a professional before the building inspector finds out.
He's definitely in the deep end. But honestly, I respect the audacity. That's how you learn. You get halfway through a project that's way too big for you, you realize you've made a catastrophic series of errors, and then you figure out how to claw your way back to a finished product. That's where the real skill is born, in the middle of the mess.
So, if someone is listening to this in their garage right now, looking at a pile of wood or a broken HVAC unit, what's the one thing they should take away from today?
I think it's about choosing your path intentionally. Don't just drift into a project or a career because it's what's in front of you. If you want the trades, go for the high-value commercial stuff. If you want to sell your crafts, look at the data. And if you're just building for the joy of it, don't be afraid to make something cheap like a 2x4 guitar and make it sound like $1,000,000.
Just maybe don't build a football stadium in your basement without checking the load-bearing walls first.
Solid advice for any Sunday.
We've got the TigerDen learning paths linked in the show notes if you want to dive deeper into any of this, whether you're looking to scale your business or get certified in the trades.
Stay gritty, stay creative, and try to keep track of your marking knife today. We'll be back in the den tomorrow.